What is up, guys? It is Bola Suspect, and welcome back to FNAF TV. And today I'm going to do something that I don't really like about a part of YouTube, and that is a reaction. I'm just kidding. I like reaction channels. Why am I mumbling? So basically, Science Appliance dropped his timeline video, at least part one and part two, or I would say only part one because half of the video is just waste of time. Right. So I've already reacted to his both of his timeline on my stream, but that was more kind of a goofy, funny kind of reaction thingy. So yeah, I just wanted to do a serious reaction. So I skipped half of the video where it's just explanation on the basic stuff, basic knowledge that we already have. If you want to watch the full video, the link is in the description. You can watch the entire video there. And yeah, props to Sans Appliance, man. He's doing great work. So let's get to the video.
So, let's begin with part 1 of the timeline.
Okay, yeah, the Easter egg.
We begin with the story of a dog. Yes, a
Manny.
dog. Manny. Remember that that's not the actual name for the dog, but I chose Manny because it sounds like Mangle, which is what animatronic the dog's soul goes into. The year is 1960, Henry's home. One which Charlie, his daughter, explains in an alternate universe to be far from the edge of town where it was all highway and empty space. Now, as it is only 1960, Sammy and Charlie don't yet exist, and Henry and family live in Utah, isolated in a forest. However, what if I was to tell you that Henry here has a child? Just a young one that doesn't stay for long. Why not? Well, because his dog dies, and so does he. All that's left is a small mound ready to be buried 6 feet under in the middle of nowhere. Henry here is taught a lesson, as he knew after this day that he was not ready to bring up children the way he did. He was a drink driver, kicked out of the local pub, driving at 200 miles per hour on a motorway, and was known for shouting at his child a lot. Open the door. He does not hesitate at all. He comes home to his partner, who tells him to leave him alone, as he had a rough day, because his dog had died that very day. But the boy had left his house through his window, fed up with...
Okay. I want to pause it right there. A few things I want to sort out. Science kind of got it wrong. Might have got it wrong with the 1960s kind of thing. First of all, it is really absurd that in the FNAF community we just keep going back. It's all about just going back in time and until you reach way back. And 1960s just seems absurd to me. Yeah, that could be right. I'm not saying that it's completely wrong, but it just sounds from a storytelling point, it's just way too much cheesy to, I don't know, stretch the storyline for like 50 years or something like that. I don't think it happened in 60s. I think it is oh sorry, it is definitely post 70s. So yeah. And yeah, I just I don't know, man. I just don't find this theory of the dog. I don't know. I'm not talking about the dog dying and Mangle kind of being born after that. It's completely fine. It's completely fine. But the dog being a pet of a child who is the son or a daughter, depends, son or daughter of Henry, and that too way before it was Sammy and Charlie. It just seems like I don't know. I don't know. I just don't wanna. I just can't portray what I want to say. But you guys should get the point. What I'm trying to say is, it just from storytelling point of view, it's just absurd. And no hard feelings, sans appliance. I have done absurd things as well. So I'm not gonna hard judge you. I'm just hard judging the theory. So okay, let's get back to the video.
life consequences and taking himself and the dog up to an empty space left to rot and decompose. This was the day when Henry knew that he brought up this child incorrectly. When he came over to the bodies lying there, when he knew that there was nothing else he could do to save them. If there was nothing he could have done to keep them alive, there's one thing he knew he could at least try now, and that was to bring them back alive. Determined to do this, Henry worked hard until he found a solution. He encapsulated their two souls together into a container, ready to be infused into a robotic-like creature. This is
I think this theory that bringing back the souls wouldn't have been possible if Matt hadn't noticed the remnant thing from the blueprints. And basically right after that, everybody just hooked onto that one single point, the remnant point. That also might not also be true, might be true. I'm not being like, yeah, this is wrong, this is right. But I'm trying to say is, people when they find some weird hint, Easter egg, or something groundbreaking discovery in the FNAF lore, something like that, they just hook up on it until they find something new. And the greatest example is the remnant thing. That everybody started making their own theories that Michael came to life because of the Remnant Experiment, Mangle because of the Remnant Experiment. William himself survived because of the Remnant Experiment. Um, it's basically saying, I'm just trying to say that it just gets too much cheesy when you're trying to put everything, like it's basically you're trying to put all the chocolate in one single chocolate mold, and that is just way too overflowing. And FNAF has been an overflow since, I don't know, but it has been an overflow of when it started to make sense, when a lot of theories actually started, like, oh my god, that's groundbreaking. When groundbreaking theories pop out, um, it just gets cheesy on the other side of the community. And yeah, if you get what I'm trying to say, it's really hard for me to explain what I really want to say right now. um, but yeah, let's just watch the video. But I don't think this is anywhere possible to bring back the souls and stuff. Not possible, but it doesn't match with the thing that Henry brought back a random child, random, no, not a random child, his own child in the 60s. And there's been a conversation with me and Science Plans about the age gap. This is basically like the controversial Spider-Man Homecoming timeline. Like, it says 8 years later, but it is actually simply, I guess, just 5 years later. Yeah, 5 or 6 years later. But in the movie it says 8 years later, and it's something like that. Like, one guy mistakes one because of one guy's mistakes, everything can just go to the, I don't know, everything just messes up. And even I talked to Sansa Plans that even if he was a parent, like about the age of 30, not above the age, about the age of 30, when he had his first child, the one he's trying to explain in this video, in the 60s, I'm talking about in the 60s, even if we say 1969, let's consider 1970, 30 years later, he's already 60 years old when it's 1999. And that just makes no sense. And until it is FNAF 6, that is, even if you assume it is 2023, because we know the FNAF 3 takes place in 2023, and even if we consider FNAF 6, even literally a month later FNAF 3 took place, we still we still have to consider that Henry would be above the age of like 80, 85. And I don't know, Scott takes his details seriously. Scott is like, when he don't do details, he just like calm and chill. But when he do details, he just makes sure he nails every single part of it. So yeah, the 1960 theory is just not happening. It's just not. It's not possible. Let's move on.
Is a mangled version of Mangle. Not the final form, but a bunch of
Mangle version of Mangle. Okay.
wires, metal, and scrap materials. With the death of Manny and his dad comes the birth of a Mangle, a large piece to the puzzle that has just been solved. And at this point, if you don't think it has been solved, I will go through this again with a little more evidence to back up the story,
Okay.
as there will be a lot of controversy in the comments.
Yes.
By the way, I am answering every single question that appears in the comments in at least the week this video comes out. So if you have any questions, please comment a time in the video and ask away.
Okay.
So, first of all, let's clear up why the year is 1960. The year is 1960 as firstly it's a way before Freddy Fazbear was a thing. I know this simply because Scott Cawthon, the creator of the franchise, has specifically included the building named Juniors instead of Freddy Fazbear's for a reason. And that's to show that it just wasn't around back then. Also, if we look over to the fruity
Yes, and I've talked about this to science that Fredbear's, even if you assume, dog, can you please? Oh man, dogs are just gonna interrupt me, so I'm gonna still keep talking. Even if you assume Fredbear's existed during juniors, why would a diner be kind of like countryside? Even if you assume it was countryside, I really don't get the point. I think the Fredbear's. Oh wait, haha, sorry. I'm trying to nail my own knowledge. FNAF 4 takes place at the Fredbear's Family Diner, and from the minigame map, we see there is a road, a kind of a neighborhood road that we see usually in cities, and that would take us to the conclusion that the Fredbear's Family Diner is in city, and this Junior's bar is actually is basically countryside. This is outside the city. This is near the Charlie's house. Even if you assume Orange Guy is Henry, I don't think Junior's has anything to do with Fredbear's, even Fazbear, even Henry. It's just there to show you that it is countryside. Like it's a countryside bar. Like it's outside the city. It's on the outskirts. Like just as the description of Charlie, like our house was outside the city, near the highway. So they showed us the highway, and now they're showing us the bar, the juniors, the countryside bar, to tell us that kind of it's kind of Scott's way to tell you that it is outside the city, and it might also be Charlie's house. So yeah, I really don't think this point makes sense that Scott included juniors just because he wanted to show that Fredbear's and Fazbear, anything related to Fredbear, whatever existed back then. Yeah, so you get the point, right? Okay, so any of you guys who don't get what I'm trying to say, just comment down below. I will explain more easily because I'm kind of more comfortable typing than I'm comfortable speaking. So yeah, let's get back to the video.
minigame, we see a dead dog clearly, and Scott has included 1960 as the score that you will always get on the minigame's final alteration. This means that a dog has died in 1960, and that's what I've conducted from this. Next,
Okay, I get the point that why would Scotting include 1960, exact 1960 as the score? But we haven't even come to a conclusion that it is a, what do you say, a reoccurring Easter egg. For example, for Golden Freddy or for Puppet, for at least Puppet, the text is "It's me," and whenever anyone says "It's me" in FNAF, you just have in your mind it's either Puppet or it's either Golden Freddy. Probably Golden Freddy more because we know that from FNAF 1. So it's kind of a reoccurring Easter egg from different games. But this hint or Easter egg that the score thingy is supposed to be related to anything at all is not reoccurring at all. This is the first time we are actually seeing something like that. So I don't think that is related to anything at all. But yeah, okay, assumptions can be made, but according to me, my opinion is 1960 makes no sense at all. It's just a random number. Okay, let's get back to the video.
Why would Henry have a child that we have never seen before? Well, although it's a good question, just think about the series as a whole. For example, the gravestone ending in Pizzeria Simulator. We have two entirely new names out of the blue, and two more possibilities of dead people in the series just from one picture. The likelihood of this being this child, well, I think it's high, I would say. Next, how does his dog die? Well, there's no explanation for this at all. But just remember we are talking about the 1960s, a little under 60 years ago, when lifespans
80.
of many organisms were much lower than today's.
I
And that
don't
was because of
know.
the
Really?
health, the medication, it wasn't as good then as it is now.
Facilities.
I don't necessarily think that Manny had died from something or someone. I think it was just caused by natural causes.
Death.
And of
Okay,
course,
natural death.
that leads on to the question, how does the body die? Although it
Body? Okay,
sounds
body, sorry.
unfitting and really sad, probably suicide. We see this sort of thing all the time in TV and film, where a character will die because their life has just gone horribly wrong in just one day. And don't forget, it isn't the only day where this child is unhappy. He probably grew up with it as he had an abusive father, and that's also another reason for someone to commit suicide because of their bad childhood. And finally, why Mangle? Well, one thing that bothered me about Mangle is that he can be classed as so many different animatronics. It's debatable on whether he's a withered, a toy animatronic, or a funtime
He is a toy animatronic because we never got to saw we never got to see, I don't know, we never saw toy Foxy. So I would assume Mangle is the toy Foxy. He's a replacement for toy Foxy. And yeah, and I think I haven't posted my theory that Mangle is just basically toy Foxy plus Lolbit, and Lolbit losing its mask because the mask we see. Okay, let me just propose my theory here. You judge if it's wrong or right. Mangle is okay. Now we have two animatronics that look like Toy Foxy. First is Mangle, that we call Mangle because it was first Toy Foxy. So we have Toy Foxy and we have Lolbit. Lolbit is from sister location, and it's kind of an Easter egg. And we see Lolbit's mask in the main office. We only see the mask, like it's just the skull, the exoskeleton skull. We don't see the endoskeleton for Lolbit. We never see Lolbit at all. And I would assume Lolbit was kind of exported somewhere else, and I think the mask was losing because that is the reason. I would assume that Toy Foxy and what do you say, lolbit were the animatronics that you can rip apart and put back together, and they just kind of put it back together in a messy way that they combined those two animatronics in one, and that is Toy Foxy and Lolbit completing a Mangle. And that is the reason the other head is just an endoskeleton, and we never see Lolbit's mask on it because the mask is in the sister location, in the underground bunker, the Circus Babies rental and entertainment. I think that is my theory, and I think it has certain potential, a few potential. But whatever, it's on you to decide. It's on you to judge. Comment down below if you agree on that, or hit me on Discord. Not hit me, hit me up on Discord. Don't hit me. Okay, let's get back to the video.
electronic.
It's
I
just
don't think it's
few.
any of them. Yet. Mangle is just literally a mangle. He has two heads because he's made up of the souls of two organisms. And he is literally just a tangle of endoskeletonness, and this is Henry's first creation. You'll also see later that it becomes Mangle as it is seen in Charlie's bedroom.
Okay.
I can't spend too long going deep into this section of the story, otherwise I'll never complete the timeline.
Okay, so that was me reacting to the FNAF entire timeline by Sans Appliance, and that's just part one. I would react to part two, but that would be a long ass video, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna watch part two right now. I'm gonna record it as a separate video, upload it as a separate video. So yeah, I'll put in some extra theories and something like that in this video, just not to keep it just a reaction video. So yeah, if you enjoyed this episode of FNAF TV, make sure you subscribe and like for more FNAF TV episodes. More episodes are coming your way. I might be streaming as well almost daily because I have unlimited power called as internet. So yes, I can stream daily now. So go check out Science Appliance. Of course, you must know Science Appliance. I don't have my audience. I don't have my own audience. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe if you want to check out my reaction to the part two. And yeah, connect to me on Discord or in comments. I reply to all your comments. So yeah, I'll see you later. Bye bye bye.